So the Clippers receive Kemba and Kenny Hustle. And the Thunder get Ibaka. We'll have to see what he wants to do with that player option. My gut is he'll accept it. Luke Kennard, Rondo, number 30. Detroit's 2024, Detroit's 2025, which are suddenly not as valuable because the Pistons are going to have the top pick. Yeah, I mean, really, this just comes down to would the Clippers want to risk Kemba being healthy? I mean, I think a sign and trade, if Lowry or DeRozan wanted to get there and if they cleared some of the money they had to do it, that would be better than Kemba. It's not a guarantee that Kemba will be healthy, and I think it would be fine for the Clippers to go for someone who is maybe more boring than Kemba. I don't even know who this person would be off the top of my head, but could at least be more reliable. And this sort of a package of Kennard, the expiring, and picks, it could probably get it done. For my Celtics, they have them acquiring Taurean Prince, which I'm actually okay with. I think Taurean Prince in the right place could be all right. Next, we've got the Nets acquiring Montrez and Kuzma, and the Lakers getting Spencer Dinwiddie. So it's a sign and trade. The thing here is, are we sure that Montrez would accept his player option? I imagine he would decline that, right? As far as this return for the Nets, I mean, if Dinwiddie, if he really wanted to go to the Lakers, then it's not like the Nets would have a whole lot of options for the sign and trade. There could still be something, but again, I just don't know if Montrez is going to accept the option. For the Hornets, we have Christian Wood, who would be traded for PJ Washington and number 11, basically. So for Houston's sake, I mean, I think the question is if they end up drafting Evan Mobley, if he and Christian Wood can play together. There's a chance they would end up trading Christian Wood for something else, but that seems to be the big thing. As far as this for the Hornets, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they ever decide to put the chips in for a big guy. I mean, would this make the Hornets better? Offensively, yes. Defensively, Christian Wood is the guy in the middle. I mean, it might not be the best. And I do think PJ Washington has another level to get to as a player. But this one is interesting. It made me think for a moment. I don't think I would do it if I was the Rockets, though. I would just feel better about Christian Wood than anything else. For the Bulls, we've also got Spencer Dinwiddie moving. Dinwiddie can only go to one place. But it's the same thing. It's a sign and trade. Thad Young in the 2022 second. Yeah, Dinwiddie on the Bulls. I mean, he's not the most pass-first point guard. He does like to shoot, and I don't know if that's really what they need, but he's certainly a good player, no doubt. As for the return, I'm guessing the Nets would ask for at least one other guy besides Thad Young. It all depends on where Dinwiddie wants to go. Let's see, next for Cleveland, it's Kevin Love. Is he being traded? He's going to Miami. The Heat receive Kevin Love, Colin Sexton, Houston 22 second, Dragic. Okay, so basically it's Dragic and Iguodala are 1-year contracts. Tyler Hero for Sexton, that's the young player swap. Cleveland gets out of Kevin Love's money. Miami hopes that Kevin Love is healthy. They also get Colin Sexton. That would make them very expensive kind of fast because they'd be paying Kevin Love and then they would have to extend Sexton. But perhaps Miami would not really care about that sort of thing. They would also probably have to pay Duncan Robinson, so they could get very expensive now that I think about it. Is this a good move? I mean, I don't know. Like, Sexton is better than Hero. I'd rather, like, if I'm Cleveland and I really want to trade Sexton, am I going to trade him for almost the same type of player, but just a little taller? I mean, I guess if I just think Hero is way better or has a way higher ceiling. For Miami's sake, the Kevin Love contract scares me too much. I mean, if he was still healthy all the time, then maybe I could deal with that money, but he's not reliable to play. And now Denver is getting my beloved Marcus Smart. Denver gets Smart, 2023 second. The Celtics get PJ Dozier, Monte Morris, number 26. I mean, PJ Dozier's got potential as a rotation guy. Morris, good backup point guard. Number 26 is good. This is actually like an okay return for Marcus Smart, in my opinion, especially because Smart, look, the defense is not as good as it was a couple years ago. And he could bounce back, but it was kind of one of the underlying secrets of the Celtics season that Marcus, he was like -2 points defensively compared to his best days. And because of that, the Nuggets honestly could be giving up too much. We have Zach Levine going to the Warriors, I assume. I don't even know how you would do this. A Kelly Oubre sign and trade with a bunch of draft picks. Can you even attach draft picks to a player on a sign and trade? I know you can't attach players, which I learned like 3 days ago. I'm embarrassed to admit. This will not happen. The Bulls are not trading Levine anyway. And if they were, you're going to need more than Oubre, even if it's a lot of picks. Again, if you're allowed to do that. Buddy Hield to the Lakers for once again the Montrez Kuzma thing. I'm going to ask the same thing. Are we sure Montrez is accepting that player option? I don't know. Also, if Buddy Hield really wants, or if they really want to move him, I'd like to think you could do better than Montrez and Kuzma, but I don't know. Maybe GMs just don't like Buddy Hield. Now we've got Zach LaVine going to the Grizzlies. Grayson Allen, Desmond Bane. What is up with this trade Zach LaVine thing? The Bulls have no reason to trade Zach LaVine, unless it's for a better player. Now we've got Dinwiddie going to his third team in Miami. Sign and trade Precious Achiuwa and Iguodala. I don't think I would like this if I was the Nets, but again, if it's a sign and trade, you might just take whatever you can get. Achiuwa, okay, but Iguodala, like, does Iguodala really help them at this point? I think he's too far gone. In before they do this, and he averages 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and is a great defender in 25 minutes a game. Now this one's kind of wild. Jonathan Isaac going to Minnesota with Terrence Ross, Malik Beasley, Jarrett Culver, Jaden McDaniels, Jake Layman, a top 8 protected 2023 first. So the T-Wolves are now trading another first round pick. It's a fascinating situation. The pressure to trade picks to hope that Towns stays. I would not do this if I was the Wolves, just because I don't know when Isaac is going to be back and looking really good. But in theory, the defensive power forward next to Towns, I see it, yeah. We have Milwaukee acquiring Harrison Barnes for Brook Lopez and Dante DiVincenzo and number 31. That's a lot for Harrison Barnes. I don't think this would happen. I think Brook Lopez is such a foundational guy for the Bucks. I mean, he can space the floor and he can stand in front of the rim. And that sounds simple, but there's not a lot of fives who can do that. Yeah, he's not a great shooter from the center spot, I know. But he's better than most options. I think this would be a pretty all-right return for the Kings for what it's worth, though. Unless Brook Lopez not on the Bucks is immediately, once again, a blah defensive 5. We have the Pelicans, and as is tradition, it's the Miles Turner Bleacher Report trade. Every article, man, they have to do it. Let's see, what are the Pacers doing? The Pacers are losing their defensive everything, and they're gaining an inexperienced guy who is not that great at number 10. There is no reason for Indiana to do this trade. Moving on. We've got Dame to the Knicks. I could do this as the thumbnail. I'm probably going to do the Kemba one just because I don't genuinely believe Dame's going to get traded this offseason. What do they have it for? Quickly, Obi Toppin, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, just the everything picks thing. I mean, Quickly and Obi would have to go to a different level as players. You throw RJ in here, then I think the conversation gets interesting. And for OKC, we've got Porzingis. Is this the... Yeah. This is the Porzingis-Kemba swap. I feel like this could happen in a year when Porzingis has a couple years left in his deal and Kemba has 1 year left. But still, honestly, and I know I was all aboard the crap on Porzingis train, the best option for Dallas might just be trying to figure it out with him as opposed to moving him for something. But you never know. Maybe some other team would just really, really love him. We have Eric Gordon going to the Sixers. George Hill, Mike Scott. Yeah, the problem here is I just don't trust Gordon to be healthy or to give a crap. We have another Blazers trade and another Harrison Barnes trade. The Blazers receive Harrison Barnes and DeLon Wright. The Kings get Derek Jones Jr., Nurkic, Anthony Simons, 2023 lottery protected. The Bleacher Report would have you suggest that Harrison Barnes' trade market is like pretty damn impressive. I mean, you're trading starting 5, rotation piece, and a first and a backup point guard for Harrison Barnes. I mean, DeLon Wright's okay, but like, damn, dude. I think this is too much for the Blazers to give up for one guy who they would really like. For San Antonio, we have, once again, the Montrez Kuzma thing. I'm going to say the same thing again. Are we sure Montrez is going to accept the player option? Number 22. It's wild to think the Lakers have the 22nd pick in the draft. Also, when do they start giving their picks to the Pelicans? They get DeRozan in a sign and trade. I think for the Spurs, this would be a pretty alright return for DeRozan. Again, you're living in the world of the guy wants to go to one team. We can't do a whole lot. But, I mean, just number 22 and, like, Montrez, if he actually accepts the player option, that'd be alright. Maybe Popovich could have Kuzma looking better. I think that would be cool. I just don't know if that's really a possibility. Raptors Sga. Okay, so similar to the Levine thing, what is up with this new SGA trade thing? Why would the Thunder consider moving SGA? The entire point of everything they're doing is to get another SGA. They get number 4 in Anunoby. This is nowhere near good enough, and I love OG Anunoby, but like, come on, man. They should not be putting him on the auction block. Okay. Utah, Mike Conley, what? Well, Conley's not even in the move. Why does he show up on the thing? So this is a bit of a deep cut move that's kind of interesting. It's Maxi Kleber and Richardson to the Jazz for Clarkson and Favors and number 30. Now, I don't think the Jazz would do this, but this is the idea of the Jazz need more defensive guys. They can't just put it all on Gobert, because then what ends up happening is they literally ask him to defend around the rim and close out to the three-point line. It would also help if there was some sort of game plan, as in rotations to the corner and stuff when they were against the Clippers. But the idea is, like, you get more guys who can defend, and that could be easier. But I think Clarkson does too much for them to lose what he does. And why not close this out on another deep cut? The Wizards get number 11. The Hornets get Thomas Bryant, number 15, second rounder. I think Thomas Bryant and number 15 is too much for number 11. Because the Wizards are trying to win right now. Because they're trying to convince Beal to stay, of course. And whoever they pick at number 11 is just probably not going to be as good as Thomas Bryant right now. Unless they don't believe Thomas Bryant can be healthy. But if they don't believe that, then the Hornets would probably believe the same thing.